Tag. Can you hear me?
Guten Tag, Miss.
Guten
Yes.
Tag. When is your class starting, Atul?
Mm, After today, after 12:45, no problem. And
Okay,
2:45, no problem.
2:45. Okay.
Yes.
How is Jay? I haven't seen him for the past 2, 3 classes.
I think he will come today because I think he has some personal problem.
Okay, okay.
So that he's so much of dust.
Okay.
Right. Right now, I will call him.
Hopefully. Let's see. Oh, okay. I think we can just start and we'll just go into the lesson. Before that, I would like you to, just revise on the days, the dates, months, and the numbers. So these are the questions that you need to answer and write it down in sentences. Then you can go into your groups to find out whether whatever you have written is in the right form. Yeah. So gestern var, vorgestern var. Write down the answers, or if you like to write the questions for the second one, this can be the first one. And I need your date and day and everything. Yeah, and you don't just write down only the answer. Don't write only the months or something. I really want you to write everything, like your date, the month, and the year. Yeah. Maybe I this is Nennen die Jahreszeiten. That means das bedeutet, dass du musst die Namen des Jahreszeiten schreiben. That that is like, what are all this Jahreszeiten is seasons, and if you know all the four seasons, you have to write down all the four seasons, like your name. So whenever somebody asks you, können Sie das Namen nennen, means can you just say the name or just name it. That's what we say. That's what is nennen. Yeah. These are the five questions you will work with. Write down, and in maybe 2 minutes, couple of minutes, I'll send you to the breakout room. Then you can take not more than 10 minutes and we can come back. Yeah. Is someone still writing, or have you all written it down? If someone is writing, please let me know. Can I take it as a no that everyone has finished writing?
Please wait, ma'am.
Okay.
1 more minute.
Sure, sure. Okay. Are you done? Can we just stop this? And can I send you to the rooms? Hopefully, yes. So we um just see to that your spellings are right. Even if somebody says, for instance, Yanua, just ask them to spell it buchstabieren Sie bitte, so that you can just like revise on this. And yeah, that would be like good to revise at times. Otherwise, we tend to forget. See you in 10 minutes. Yeah. So the basic things that you need to know is the Uhr is the clock, die Zeit, time, Stunde is hour, Stunden is hours, Minuten means minutes, and then you have Sekunden, which is seconds. So this is the basics that you need to know when you are learning about time. And how do we ask people? Like, what time is it? That's how we ask people in English, right? Oops. So we have the questions wie, yeah, spät ist es? If you really literally translate, it translates to not what is the time, instead how late is it. That's what is the literal translation is like word by word. If you have a word in German, you translate the same word in English, and then you see it's a literal translation. So when you say wie spät ist es, which means how late is it? That's how you ask, how late is it? And you see that, how it is asked. And when you have to say the time, yeah, we will see how we ask time, and you can see what are the things that the Germans follow. Okay. So here you can see, one second, to do right here. Okay. Even before that, where is that clock? Okay, here, this one. Yeah. So just see this clock. What are all the things that you need to know? You know now, Stunden, Minuten und Sekunden, which means the hour, the minutes, and the seconds. And what you see right here is when you say in English? What time is it in English? Can any one of you tell me what time is it in English?
12:55 and 11:55.
11:55. Yeah. So either you write it as 11 dot dot semicolon and 55. Yeah. What are the other ways of saying that in English? Any idea?
11 hours and 55 minutes.
Yeah,
Like that.
that's a very standard way of saying it. That's right. Any other colloquial way of saying it casually? How do you say?
5 minutes for 12 o'clock.
Very good. 5 minutes for 12 o'clock. 5 minutes to 12, or 5 minutes for 12 o'clock. Or I usually use 5 minutes to 12, 10 minutes to 12, 15 minutes to 12. Yeah. Half past 12, for instance, if it is 30. So these are some ways, right? So there are some vocabulary that you need to know. One is for. For is before, and nach is later. That's why it comes in the like, when you say sich vorstellen, then it comes, right. It is nachnamen, which means the last name. So the last or later is nach. Yeah, 5 minutes to 10, or 10 minutes past 12 o'clock. If it's 12:10, then we would say 10 minutes past 12, which means like 12:10 is the time. So here, if you see for und nach, there are two things that you need to know definitely. And there is one more important. How do you say half and how do you say quarter? So fear tell, it means a quarter. Halb means half. Halb, it's very similar to English except for B and F, like it changes. It's halb means half, and tell is quarter. And why do we have this word tell? It's, sorry, just hold on. So if you see right here, you have four words that you really need to know: for, nach und halb. No, for und nach. Then you can say Viertel, halb, and you can write it down here. Viertel, vier. It says like vier in ein Teil. Vier in ein Teil. Ein Teil means one part. Ein Teil. Okay. Tile is part, and you have all these fractions that you have learned in your grade 4 or 5, right? So fear tell is fear. It comes from fear tell. Fear in ein Teil is fear tell. Halb is half, yeah? And you say half as halb, oder Sie können auch sagen einhalb, which means one, the half. Einhalb is half. One in, like, it's the half part of one full part. So that is what is halb und Viertel. So you have these things: die Uhr, die Zeit, Stunden, Minuten, Sekunden, vor, nach, Viertel, halb. These are some like 10 to 12 like words that you will learn when you need to really, like, see time. So let us go back to our clock, where you see yeah, so you see it right here, right? It's not that difficult. Es ist 11:55 Minuten. 11 Uhr, 11 o'clock, or 11. 55 Minuten. 55 is like 55. Minuten is minutes, yeah. Minute is singular, Minuten is plural. Sekunde und Sekunden, Stunde und Stunden. And one thing, even though this picture is not clear, why I really wanted to bring this picture is to just see If at all your time, like the time is between 12 to 6, you always say nach. And if it is like it passes over like 6, then you usually use for in Germany. Yeah. So for instance, if I have the time 3, the short hand is at 3, the long hand is at 8, then I wouldn't say it is 3 Uhr oder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't really say like 40 Minuten nach 3. We don't say that. We just say 20 Minuten vor 4, 20 minutes to 4, or to for 4 o'clock. That's what it means. Yeah. So this thing you need to know. Whenever your longer hand passes the six, this small line, yeah, from 6 to 12, then you just go forward to the time and say the time, yeah, rather than going backwards. So you need to just have this image of this line and blue and green, and the blue is nach and green is for, yeah, and yeah, so we will see there are two ways, like one is a standard time, or you say AM and PM, just like in English. We do have the same thing. The first clock, for instance, if you say, it may be a little smaller for you. So I'll, 1 second. Yeah. Es ist 8 Uhr, and either you can say 8 o'clock, or es ist 20 Uhr. It is 20, the time is 20 hours, yeah, in the standard time. In the Flughafen or the Bahnhof or the einen Schiffsport or the in ein Bus Station oder Buspunkt, dann Leute sagen die Uhr immer in ein internationalen Zeit, which means the international time, 20 hours. 20 hours and 55 minutes, which means 8 o'clock, 55 minutes, and it is in the evening. It is already said it's 20. When we say, it is usually evenings. Then you have the second one. We'll go like one in this side and one in that side. So then we can just like scroll down easily. Es ist 8:30. Es ist 20:30 Uhr. For instance, if it is 8:30, you can say when it is exactly on that six line. We said, yeah, 12 to 6 is this nach and this is that. But there is like halb und viertel. You need to remember that 15 and 30. So they say es ist 8:30. It is half past, like it is like you can also say, even in Tamil, I feel very very close how we say time. I don't know how it is in Malayalam. How do you say 8 o'clock, 8:30 in Malayalam?
8 മണി.
8:30 is 8 mani.
8:30ടാ അല്ല 8:30ടാ 8:30.
Yeah, oh, nalla arada, ara. That's what even in
അര
Tamil
അര
it is ara, ara. In in Tamil also it's etre, means like ara means half. Yeah. So that is how it is. 8 o'clock and 30 minutes. So you can say that as 30 past 8, or half 9. Half 9 means 8:30. Half 10 is what? What is the time when I say half 10? Halb 10. Any idea? Halb 10.
9:30.
Very good. Halb 9. Halb 9.
9:51 ആവും.
എടാ
Halb
8:30.
9.
8:30.
8:30.
ആ
It is in the computer.
This boy is like, Sai, where are you?
ഓ മാം.
There is a problem with your time. Really, no?
യെസ് മാം.
I think I'm going to gift you a watch or a clock soon. Maybe a
No,
big
no, no.
alarm clock so that your time becomes good soon. But I wish you your not this time, all the times be good for you. I'll wish you that, Sai. Okay. So then you have these small things like, how do you say when it is like just this, the second picture that you see right here, you see that it is just 2 minutes after 8, right? So how do you say that in Malayalam? How do you say it? 8283.
8 മണി കഴിഞ്ഞ് 2 മിനിറ്റായി.
Ah, yeah, that is right. But now what do you say? Like when the mobile thing has taken over all of us, how do you say it? My children say it as like even if it is like 7:29, I would always say it's 7:30, 1 minute to 7:30 or something like that. Like just like how Atul said in Tamil, they still hold on to that and say no, Amma, it is 7:29 because that's what they see in the digital clock in the mobile or our computers always have a screen where you have this time in a big digital way. So they are very particular. They still don't know, even though my elder one is in grade 5. I think like even in grade 5, when I was in grade 5, I was able to say time, which is like, it is 8:30, 8:25, or 20 past 10. All of this has come from the school. The teacher, our teachers used to say that all the time. But now it is like, all the clocks are very, very exact to the minute, and we always sometimes we do say it's almost 8:30, which means like there are two like couple of minutes, not 5 minutes, not more than 5 minutes, just like less than 5 minutes to become an 8:30 soon. So that is what it is. Yeah, so when you have that, then you can just say es ist kurz nach 8, means couple of minutes past 8. That's what it means. And es ist 20 Uhr 1. Exact time, if you want to say the standard way, then it is 8 o'clock 1 minute. That is what it is. And when you want to say 1, you have to remember it is es ist 20 Uhr 1. Not ein. You always have to say eins. It's not ein. Ein is 1. But when you say it in the time, it is 8:1. You always say it as es ist 20 Uhr 1. And es ist Viertel vor 9. Is it Viertel vor 9? 9. What is the time? 8 Uhr, 20 Uhr 45. But is that the right time in the second one? I don't think so. It is wrong. Isn't it? Viertel has to come here. This is a wrong image, is what I see. Do you also see that? It is wrong, right? This is only Viertel for 9, 20 Uhr 45. There is a small mistake here. It is 20 Minuten vor 9, 20 Uhr 40. That's what is the second time. It is not the right time here. Somewhere they have made a mistake. Es ist 5 nach 8, that is right. Es ist 20 Uhr 5, that's right. Es ist Viertel vor 9, es ist 20 Uhr 45. Yeah, 45. Here it is 10 nach 8, 5. I think there is a problem with this people because it's not 5 for 9. It is actually 10 minutes for 9. There is a problem here also. Just don't see that. Viertel nach 8 and 5 vor halb 9. It is 5 to 8:30. That is 5 minutes to 8:30. 5 minutes to become an 8:30 is what is. Es ist 5 vor halb 9. Okay, so let me just stop this, come back. I think like you will have a quite an understanding of how it is. So let us just like find out. Maybe I'll just like give you some times and you can write down and say what it could be. So you can write it in the standard way or international way, is up to you. Yeah. So this is all. Write down the colloquial way or the the international way. It's up to you. So then we can have a small discussion of. Try writing in German, not in English. You don't have to hear it is nach and for, and I did it in the other way around. So let me just see. Okay, so let us see. Anyone would like to say what is 5:30 of Deutsch?
Es ist halb sechs.
Es ist halb sechs. Sehr gut. And if you have to write down that in the standard time, how will you write? And if I'm going to say 5:30 and then it is AM or PM, sorry. How will you write if it is PM? 5:30 PM, how will you write in the international way? Es ist.
I don't know, ma'am. Actually, I studied this only this way.
Okay. So the international way is 5:30 is 17. 17:30, which is 17 hours 30 minutes. And this is how it will be said in 30 Minuten. They say, or 30, you can stop right there, minutes and minutes. Yeah. 17 hours 30 minutes is 5:30 p.m. Yeah, the prime meridian, and like yeah, it is in the afternoon or the evening, you can say. Then you have 15:45. Anyone has an answer for this? 15:45. You need to be very, very thorough with the numbers, isn't it? Because this is also a good way of visiting the numbers. And 15:45, anyone has any answers for this? No.
15 Uhr,
Mhm.
45 Minuten.
Sehr good. Es ist 15 Uhr, 15 Uhr, Uhr, 4 und, 4 und, oh, sorry, 45. That is how you write it. And in the colloquial way, we can also say the way it's in the very standard, the casual way. How do you say in the casual way? 15:45. You can either say
S East,
mhm,
S East Viertel 16.
Viertel, and there is one preposition that you forgot. For, sehr gut. For sechs, 16. Yeah, this is how it is. Or you can also say that as es ist 15 in German. We have to write it in German, but I'm just like writing it in numbers. 15 Minuten vor 4. Sorry, yeah, that's how it is for fear. So these are the ways that you write down. Either there is like two ways, a casual way and a standard way. You need to know how it is said in the standard way and how it is said in the casual way. And why are we spending quite some time here is also that if you see in your A1, your I would say the reading exercise will have definitely some time. And or the listening exercise. For instance, there will be a very short, hearing that you can hear out. And then it says like, ja, Christian kommt zwei Viertel nach zwei. And then they will give you three options. You need to tick down the right option. Yeah, some a very small group who were there the last week. I think like we revisited how the Goethe Eins is, and whoever has not come for it was last Friday. And please ask what Swatini for the video, and I think like you should just see what we have done. So that Goethe Institute paper is your exam paper, and who are very serious about giving an exam after A1, please look at it. And time factor is something that is a very important topic. Definitely, at least like 4 5 marks in your paper, you will have some things related to time. Yeah, nobody is going to ask you what time is this and all that, but you need to know, because when you write, for instance, you're writing to a friend a small paragraph saying you're visiting her and what time is your train, or maybe mein Zug kommt 14 Uhr 20 Minuten, which means like 2:20. So you need to know that to write down a small paragraph as well. So this is what it is. So we'll just come to the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Quickly, each one can take your turns to just tell me what it could be. The third one, 8:28. How do you say it? Quick.
Es ist 32 Minuten vor 9.
so difficult you are. I will be like thinking, what is 32 minutes? And I'll be like thinking, okay, 60 minutes minus 32 minutes. What is the easiest way of saying it, Sai? 2 Minuten for halb neun. Yeah. So you need to know this because it's also like, it is one nice way of saying it. And please note it down. You can also say 2 Minuten. This is how the teenagers and the young people talk in Germany. The old people stick on to the standard time, like 20 accent. For instance, 8 is, so if it is in the after evening, then they would say is 20 Uhr 28 Minuten. It's so rubbish at times. I feel it's too much to really take in. So it's just 12 minutes, 2 minutes for halb neun. Yeah, so you can say this is how it's a very very common way of saying time. Yeah, 2 Minuten vor halb neun, Viertel Minuten, vor neun, or Viertel nach neun, which is 9:15, and then you have halb zehn, and you have all this. So when you say this, it is exactly like here. We usually write it down like this: 8, 8:15, 8:30, 8:45, 9. Write down in your note and write down all the common ways of saying it. For instance, if I'm going to say this, it's es ist 8 Uhr. That's it. Full stop. The next is es ist Viertel nach 8. Sorry, 8. So that's it. And es ist halb neun. Finished. And assist, please write down assist, okay? And then you have es ist Viertel vor neun. And then you have es ist 9 Uhr. Write down all these alone in your note somewhere and put a small box. It will help you to really revise when you have to revise the topic. By this, like, I think we will stop this and go to our lessons. It is tag. I think it's about day and the day routines. Now we have seen about like what are all the topics we have seen. We have seen about the places. We have seen about what are all the main places in a city. Then you have also seen about what are the parties at times, like how do they go for shopping, all of that. And the next topic is about routine, which is like very like it is not just important, it is an unbedingt thema, which means like you can't really just leave that, because this is what we do every day. You get up, you walk, you brush, you take bath, you you eat, you run, you drive, you study, you sleep. All these routines are some things that we are going to see in the next lesson, which is our fifth lesson. And we will just go into that. Once you finish this, then we will just go into the lesson. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to copy down in case if you have to. And it's called Tag für Tag, means day for day, day on day.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I have a doubt. Ma'am, I have a doubt in course. How to use course?
Kurz. Okay. So for instance, if it is, I'm going to just extend this and say it is 8:2. Then you can say es ist kurz nach 8. Sorry, nach 8. if it is here, if you say 8:57, for instance, okay, then you can say S is Ku- Kurz, Kurz for acht. Is it clear, Atul?
Ma'am, is it 9 or 8?
Oh, sorry. Kurz for nine.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Sorry. This is nine. I can't erase it, I think. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. And I think we'll just go into our lesson. And today, what we are going to see a lesson is Tag für Tag. Okay. And do you all still have routines? What do you mean by a routine? What is the word in Malayalam for routine?
Dinacharya.
What is that?
Dinacharya.
Ah, okay. Hmm. Do you all have routines or no? Not anymore. Children have routine. For instance, my children, I wake them up at 7:15 every day. They eat their breakfast around like 8:15, maximum 8:30. And yeah, they have their lunch at 1 every day. Maybe 5 minutes here or there, but mostly. And they go to bed at 9:30. Oh, sorry, 9 o'clock in the night. Usually at school day, they in school when the school was there, it used to be like 8:30. They would be hitting the bed, and then they have school, of course, homework from 5:30 to 6:30. They do their homework. Do you all have routines like that still?
Some routines, ma'am. Some of the
Some
routines.
routine. So how many of you take bath every day at the same time? Taking bath only is a problem, no? Okay. How many of you take bath every day at the same time? Like 9 o'clock means 9 o'clock in the morning. Every that person has to take bath. Do you do that? Not anymore, no?
No, ma'am.
No, children really do that. I think that's the only stage for you to be how you like. There is like the student time, right? You can just really mix and match like that. But yeah, of course, small children definitely need routine because they will be clear on what to do next. Otherwise, they go like they really get so confused. They throw tantrums. If they know that 9:30 they have to really go to for their bath, they really know what to do next. So their day routine goes on smoothly. Yeah. Otherwise, they become very cranky at times. But for me, I would say, yeah, I have a good routine. But unless, like, at times, like when I have classes, my routine is very different. Like, I have completely a proper routine whenever I have classes from Monday to Friday. But Saturday, Sunday is a very unroutine day for me. I never stick on to routine. I eat around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock sometimes. Then I really watch TV till like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, sometimes even till 3 o'clock in the night. So I keep my weekends the way I really want to. I don't follow any routine. Of course, I cook and give my children the same routine they have, but I really take my own way of doing routine. But in Germany, if you see, apart from these teenagers, most of them have a routine. And I used to really look like it used to be like, for me, are they really people or robots? Sometimes it is very, I would say it was not something that I could take it initially. It was like a culture shock for me. Everybody have a routine. And usually when I go to my friend's house or the people who are Germans, the thing what they have is like there will be a timetable in their house. I'll tell you this, and you tell me whether any one of you follow it. Okay, they have a timetable. Monday, what is the work they do? Tuesday, what is the work they do? Wednesday, what is the work? They will have noted down in that timetable. For instance, there are two people in the house, two college students living together. Then they have some things like, who will clean the toilet? They will be written Wetse. Western closet is WC is Wetse in German. And Wetse, and the name of, like, if it is Maria, then Maria's name is written, or Yannick's name is written. And I was like, why? You can just say, right, like, you have to clean this week. But even that thinking for the next week, who is going to really do the cleaning this week? Even that they don't want to do. They don't really spend that minutes to do that. Instead, they have it in a paper which is written and stuck on the wall. Is anyone who is like so that systematic in this group? Anyone? You can just say, because it's really like good for people who don't have routine to hear from you what is your perspective. Not so organized. Okay, tell me, what is the advantage of being so organized?
Planning things ahead.
Planning things ahead. That's right.
So we will get sufficient time for doing the work properly.
Very good. That's right. And they also have a menu planning. Usually, the women at the house, usually, if at all there are children and the husband is like, a traveling job or something, then the women takes care. Otherwise, they share equal responsibilities. There is nothing like women has to do this, men has to do this. There is no stereotyping at all in Deutschland, like how the mother has a maternity leave, the father has a paternity leave. So they are on par with their careers, and they don't have to really miss it unless one really makes a conscious decision of staying with the child. Then it is very different, rather than one pushing you, saying like, of course you are the mother, you have to take care. There is no stereotyping. And once you actually get into that stereotyping, they will just leave you. It could be the men or the women, I'm saying about both. When you say, no, 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 in India it's used to be like this, and even we never know, you might have partners from there. But the only thing that, you have to step into their shoes to see what the culture is behind. Like our parents definitely say, right, like, no, 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 we really want you to marry in the same religion, or maybe in the same caste. Why do they say so? My mother, like, when she used to tell me, I used to ask this question, why? They are also human beings. For me, it doesn't matter if it is like they pray to Jesus or they pray to Allah. I don't bother, because it is their own beliefs, which which is not a big thing for me to live with a person. I just see that person, his traits, his characters, his qualities is more important. But my mother used to tell me one thing which says, no, 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 no. I'm not saying like I'm not against religion or something. It's more about the habits that you have would be similar when you come from the same place. For instance, language. Yeah, language is never a barrier, is what we say. But you see the children, if they are born in a family who speak Malayalam, both of them speak Malayalam, there is a different thing than one speaking one language, the other speaking other language. And these people have to make a lot of effort to understand each other. There are so many small nuances of the language, right? In Tamil, when I say something like, in Coimbatore itself, we do have a lot of issues. When you come from Chennai and speak the same Tamil in Coimbatore, they don't accept it. And it is like, sometimes, they take it very personally. So to come together has a lot of things that you need to think of, and exactly the same way the culture is very different. One second, just hold on. I'm sorry. So that is what it is. And you see that in Germany, you have like two people living together. They have a perfect routine. They are very organized. They are planned. And when we talk about the kitchen, like, what is going to go the next week, the planning will be already there, which means there will be a calendar in each of the houses. My teacher, when I saw her diary, I was super shocked because she has a year's planning in her diary, which means the next year she was about to attend one of her friend's 70th birthday, which is way well ahead in the next year. Like we were in somewhere in February or something, and she has written for the next year, which is the year. If it was in 2005 6 where I went there, it should be 2007. They are well planned. The holidays, for instance, they plan it at least 1 year before. They For instance, if they're going to take the children for a summer camp, they really have planned for that. For instance, learning a skill, swimming, we can just think of now and just go and join the next month. They don't do that like that. They have a planning for their own children. Like this age is when they will start with one instrument. They give options to the children. I'm not saying they will push. Second, what is the second like sport activities that the children will do? Third, what are the extracurricular things that they do? When do they go? Who will even drop them and pick them? So they're very, very organized people, which is one thing that really met me a lot, because I am like, of course, like, Saturday, Sundays, maybe I'm taking it consciously. Otherwise, it is good for me to plan my day. Otherwise, I become a little, agitated at times to think of, oh, I should do this, I should do that. Too many things at the same time, you will never be able to handle with two small children. And this organizational skill is one of the biggest advantage of Germans. And you can learn if you have, of course, the teenagers are very, very different. But if you have lived or are going to live in that place, you need to be organized. People definitely accept that. And when you say next week, Tuesday, if we are going for lunch, you have to just tell your colleague or your friend at least 2 weeks before. If it is very close friends, yeah, you can just like call them and go. I'm not saying every small thing, but most of the things you see, they are very organized. They are well planned. They know what they are going to do in the next 4 or 5 years. So if you see a child, for instance, that also comes from education as well. So when they do their like, their high school, they start at grade 8 to think of what is the occupation that they are leaned to, maybe what is their interest, as well as what they do is like they go for internships from grade 8. So any child you take, like you call them from Germany and ask them, do you have a portfolio? They will show you a portfolio. This portfolio will have all the projects that the child has done from grade 1 onwards till high school. It is a big file, and every year there will be one section of this file which goes to this particular standard. And also, one other thing that I've written down is about like the portfolio is very, very important. As when you go into internships, you don't have to carry anything, your marks or anything. Your portfolio will speak for itself. So it has what you do, what's your interest, what if your interest is something about, for instance, boat architecture. Like there are like beautiful jobs that these Germans always talk about. It's one of it is boat architecture. They go to Netherlands to learn. There are so many like, universities that really provide this, and it's all about, production and, like building ships and all of this, and it's called boat architecture. And the person last year who came from Germany to our school. There are two volunteers who come every year. This year we didn't have any because of the COVID. Otherwise, we used to have two people, and these two people were one had something a portfolio about teaching, and you should see that the portfolio was almost like 5 6 encyclopedias together, and he had taken it all the way from Germany to here to show us. And our children in the grade 8 and 9 were so inspired by this, and they have started doing it from the past 2 years. They are doing it, and we could see even in our school we have really taken it as a best practice. So it's all about organizing skills as well as planning. And Germans are very very planned people, and they know where their company is heading after like 10 years. If you ask them, they would say, okay, 10 years later, this is where our company will head to. Probably when they really you see after 10 years, they would have achieved most of what they have to achieve. So that is one thing. And if you tell them about time, they are punktlich is punctual, and that's their trait. It's in the blood. If you tell them 2 o'clock, you cannot go late. I can vouch on that because they will show you a very rude face, very very rude face. Even I never go late to the class because my teacher's face is something that I can't take it, For us, sometimes certain things we don't like to see. Like that, I can't really see my teacher's face when somebody walks in after 5 minutes during the class. She really gives a stare and you are done with it. For that, you can just go 10 minutes before and sit in the class. So that is how it is. Unless there is an emergency situation, yeah, they understand. But it is also that they value time a lot. Even with your project, if you're going to give them 2 hours internship, you are taking up an internship, think wisely. You just ask a little longer time than usual, finish it before that is much better than asking for a shorter time and then overboarding it and postponing it later. That doesn't work with the Germans. They have a very very straight word saying like, we didn't expect this from you, we are disappointed. Off the face they can say that. So this is all about like the organizational skills, the planning, as well as like what you really have to have if you're going to do an internship. These are all certain things my teacher told us in the first classes, like in when I was doing A1, because we never know how they are. To really know, you have to either live with them or to at least hear them out. I did both, but yeah, it is out of my experience. So this is certainly some things that they value. And even your work, for instance, master degree, you're doing your master degree, most of you. And what is that one thing, if you want to go for an internship, what does your profile speak of? Yeah, that is very important. What are the main things? Of course, if you have really learned a skill, they value you so much. If you have done your German, like, parallelly studying your this thing, then they really value your time and your effort. You are speaking very less German, that doesn't matter, but they see the time that really has gone, the thought that has gone for doing this, much more than what you can do at that time. Yeah. So just remember these things when you really are there, and you get to know some people. Talk to people who are Germans. You will get to know more about them, more about their culture, which is actually a very important part. So that is why I wanted to share you something like this. So do you have any questions, or is there anything that you feel, oh, this is like I can't really do it, it's so surprising, maybe I'll have a problem? Are there any thoughts that you would like to share? You can go. Is there any questions? No? Okay, so maybe then we'll go on to our lesson, which is die Uhrzeit verstehen und nennen, Zeitangaben machen. So you have done the Uhrzeit. I've given you a small introduction today. That is why I wanted to give you an introduction before we just go into the lesson, just like that. Über die Familie sprechen. sich verabreden, sich vor einer Verspätung entschuldigen und darauf reagieren. So this is a very important thing, which means Verspätung means you are going late. And entschuldigen is to ask sorry for being late. And otherwise, if somebody comes late, how do you react to it? Einen Termin telefonisch vereinbaren. This is also something which is getting appointments over the telephone. Here as well, we do that a lot right now, right? Like if you need an hospital appointment, you don't have to go in person right now. If you're going to book your tickets, you don't have to really book your tickets just in person. You can just do it online. Many things have turned online, and most of the telephonic conversation for appointments for termin means appointments. And where are the areas do you think you need appointments? What are your thoughts? Where do you need appointments? Anyone can unmute and talk and say,
For visiting a manager or something.
yeah, visiting a professional person. Okay, for what?
For an interview.
For an interview, very good. So even if you are going to, just hold on. Even if you are going to for an internship, okay, and you have an email saying please come at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, Tuesday you have to just call this person to just tell them that tomorrow I have this interview. Where should I come? Is this the right address? Is this where I'm going to really arrive? You can't just show up like that. Yeah. So why is that? Why do we need to really confirm some things? What do you think?
Due to some emergency situation, they may change the date or time.
Yeah, that's one. The other thing, you have to be there on time, right? If you're going to plan your day, you have to plan it on the previous day. Like, okay, this is the bus I'm going to take, because the buses, the timings in Germany is, even though they are very, very, in order, sometimes you need to see exactly if that's a Freitag, for instance, Samstag und Sonntag, Wochenende, they have a different train timings, okay? And if it's an fire tag means holidays, then they have a different timetable. So in the timetable, if you see Montag bis Freitag, Monday to Friday, Samstag, a separate column, Zontag, a separate column, and Feiertag, which means holidays. And in that chart, every month there will be a new chart for that month. And the Feiertag will be written just below the table. Yeah. So that is also one thing that you need to look at, because we never know when they take a day off, or we still haven't know like learned about their calendar. So you need to know that. And termine helps you to just have this personal conversation with the person you're going to meet first. So the next day you go, then you can just tell them like, oh, this is, of course, to a hotel or somewhere you go, you don't have to just call them, you just have to confirm the reservation. So you can call for that. And then mainly another thing which is very important, usually we have to take, definitely you have to take an appointment for.
To consult a doctor or even to take an
Exactly.
appointment with a barber,
Exactly. Barber from Dr.
saloon.
Salons. Sid has a lot of experience. Yeah, that's right. Salons and all, you can't just show up. Very, very rarely. And if the salon is somewhere in the city hall, then you can go, because you can just walk in and say, I want to do a haircut. I want to do some hair coloring. Yeah, they would say like you have to wait for like 50 minutes, 40 minutes, they will say. Otherwise, they would say, no, we are in full. Means we are full today. We can't do that. Come tomorrow. Immediately, you have to write your appointment and then come back and go on the particular day. Doctors, definitely you have to take an appointment. Even that is the most biggest headache in Germany. I would say it's the biggest disadvantage in Germany is doctors. Really, it's a headache only. If you even have an headache, they will give you an appointment after 2 days. Your headache will be already gone. They don't give you over counter medicines. They don't give you, you can't really get antibiotics on, like, if you don't have your doctor's slip. They don't give you medicines just like that. Even crocin, yeah, that they can give you crocin, but now I don't know about this COVID situation. Otherwise, I don't. They would write the address and then only they will give you the medicines. So they are very very different. But appointments with the doctors is a pain, really, I would say. And for children, with children, I have really undergone a lot of instances where I had to really rush to the emergency, but still you have to wait for 2 hours, 3 hours. It's like, sometimes it's very very
Ma'am, what about the accident case? For accident cases also?
accidents doesn't happen a lot, Atul. That's one thing I've never seen in Germany. Accidents, very very rarely. Accidents there is not like accidents here, because 90% or 95%, I would say, they follow rules. Where will the accidents happen? Where do you think the accidents happen? Why?
The roads due to not following the rules?
Exactly. They, for 95% of the people from childhood to adulthood, they really follow rules. I can really vouch for it and say they really follow rules. It is in their blood. There is a very famous saying about saying of Martin Luther King. He says, "Ordnung muss sein in den Leuten," means order must be there in the people. It's not for the people. Need not be there for the people. It's actually in the people, and Germans really live that way. And you can see, because why? Why do they follow? For instance, if you take a robo, you are programming your robo in such a way, will it follow your instructions? Unless, yeah, sometimes it might not, right? Something goes wrong. Otherwise, it follows your instructions, right? They are wired like that. If you see the, like, even 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night, when there is no people, no person walking on the road also, they will stop for a red signal, which doesn't happen in India. I've never seen people following rules after 10 o'clock. Of course, we don't even have traffic lights. That's one thing. Otherwise, as well, they follow rules. There are two things about it. One is they are very disciplined. The way they have been brought up is self says that. The second is, it's because when you overboard, or when you just like don't follow it, the consequence is very very severe. You have to pay a very hefty amount of, like, you have to pay a hefty amount of fine. And it also depends on how much you earn. So for instance, you cannot swear people. Like, for instance, if you're going to say like any swear people is like saying bad words to people, you may just like, you may just land up in a jail. And I think, like, very recently, there was a football player, a German football player. I don't know his name. He said something to, or the park ticket, like the auto parking is like they just like give you slips, right? Sometimes you go to the mall, press a button, you get the parking slip. There was a person right there to give that slip, and this football player has said something to him, which has really, like, brought him to pay almost 25,000 euros, because he earns more. If at all, for instance, a person who earns only 5,000 euros per month lands up with this, he would just be paying 1,000 euros. So there is a big difference on how much you earn, how much is your fine. The higher the you earn, higher the fine. And if it's a student, or you can't really like take out children, they are not very very lenient on children also. They really take them out for a week's, there is dismissions, there are, like, detentions, there are timeouts, many things, many consequences are there. So from the childhood they know, if I'm going to not follow it, I'm going to end up in a big trouble. So that's how it is. And accidents, of course, very very less. Yeah, unless it happens in the autobahn due to a technical failure of the cars or the bikes. Otherwise, very rarely accidents. What I feel is like, yeah, falling down from the stairs, or maybe like, like slipping off in the snow. That's a big accident that I have seen. Is like many people slip and they break their legs or their hands. Usually in winter you can see many people having bandages because they must have slipped somewhere. That happens, you can't really avoid that. That is what it is. And they have emergencies, but then also you need to wait a little. It's not like immediately how our doctors rush. Of course, very very serious situations they do. But if you have a ear pain, or like, your teeth pain, or I have been in that hospital for almost 2 hours. My pain was so horrible. I went to the receptionist and said, I'm unable to bear the pain. You know what she did? She just gave me a tablet. She said, have this painkiller and wait. Okay. That's how it is. You can't really forgo or like the line, or go in the front. It's very very unusual. You have to take an appointment and go. Das ist Termin telefonisch vereinbaren. Vereinbaren is a verb which means to get an appointment or receive an appointment. That is what it is. And here, what we are going to see is, like we saw about kann und kann nicht, right? Ich kann Radfahren, ich kann schwimmen, ich kann. What you can do. Like those are modal verbs. We will see two or three modal verbs here. So your work is to look at this. Okay, there are six pictures. No, sorry, seven, I think. One, two, drei, vier, fünf, sechs, sieben. Eins, zwei, drei, vier, fünf, sechs, sieben. Sieben Titel. Titel ist Titles and sieben Bilder. Ergänzen Sie oder ordnen Sie die Ausdrücke den Bilder zu. Quickly, you have 3 to 4 minutes, not more than that. 3 minutes should be fine, I think. Just write down, like one is already given for you. The person who is sitting in the computer, arbeiten, he works, he is working. So you can write down the verbs, or maybe in case if it is, yeah, is everything a verb? Yeah, it's everything is a verb. Write down and let's discuss about what it is. Okay, so the build are, who wants to say? Sid, can you tell us what verb is that?
The ocean.
Duschen, sehr gut. Und duschen is to bath. And what is that room called as? The bathroom in the German.
Badzimmer.
Badezimmer. Badezimmer. Yeah, sehr gut. Atul Bey.
Um, I didn't know that thing.
Okay, but if you
Mm,
have written
I
everything, there would be
think
only one
in
thing missing.
cafe game, cafe.
Nine.
Actually, I think he has
What?
some coffee with him,
Yeah.
but I don't know in which is last one. Na house game.
Nachhausgehen is something else. Okay,
Go
wait.
to house
We
something.
will uh we will come back to the third one, which is arbeiten is already given. What is the fourth one? That say, sorry. Fear is given. Day is given. Say, what do you think it is?
Nachrichten lesson on Froststuken.
Stücken is what is bay. Nachrichten means news. I told you that day. You remember? I don't know whether you were there that day. Nachrichten means news. Zeitung is newspaper. Yeah, I'll write down these two words for you. Maybe is there any comment? Notepad? Where is notepad? Oh, okay. Did I write anything here? Oh, yeah. Nachrichten is news. And you can say die Zeitung. Zeitung, what it comes from the verb die Zeit. You remember? Die Zeit is time. And Zeitung means newspaper. New paper or newspaper. Okay. Then you have Frühstücken. Was bedeutet Frühstücken, Atul? What is the meaning of
Uh,
Frühstücken?
didn't remember, ma'am.
You don't remember? It's a very important verb. It's Früh means
Lady,
Frau is lady.
Frau.
Früh is early. Früh, sorry. Frühstücken means to have breakfast. Yeah. Even the verb breakfasting is a verb. We don't have it in English, of course. To eat breakfast. Can we put it like this? Frühstücken means to eat breakfast. Yeah. Nachrichten lesen is to really read a news. So this person here, right here in this in the book, like whoever like sitting, he's reading something from his mobile, and on the other go he also is doing something with his he's also eating on the parallelly he's eating. So that s is Nachrichten lesen und frühstücken. Yeah. Say, what was it say? uh Anyone else would like to try it? Emmy, can you tell us what is say?
ins Café gehen.
Sehr good. Ins Cafe gehen. Of course, like the girl and the boy, they meet in the coffee house. So they have, sie sieht sehr glücklich aus, means they look very happy together. Sie sieht sehr glücklich aus zusammen. They look very happy together. And you see that even if you want to bring some adjectives to these pictures, uh, der Mann is beschäftigt. Beschäftigt is a verb which means to be occupied. The be is he is very occupied. Of course, arbeiten, ist auch beschäftigt und sieht sehr seriös aus. Serious means like he looks very serious. Like, yeah, he's very much onto the system, very concentrated, he's focused. So we say, yeah, er sieht seriös aus. Die Leute, der Mann und die Frau sieht glücklich aus, which means they are looking very happy together. A. Juhi, was ist A?
Jorgen,
Jorgen. Sehr gut. Joggen or Jorgen, but usually I prefer Joggen because it comes from the international word Joggen. Yeah, sehr gut. Und dann Sai, F. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. F.
In the canteen gehen.
Sehr good. In the Kantine gehen. Kantine
Ah,
means canteen.
canteen.
Yeah. And there is another word called Messa. Messa. Messa also is a canteen. Messa is like a mess, not that mess. You do a lot of mess, not that mess. The school mess or the college mess where you have paid already and then you can just go and eat your food. That is Messa of Deutsch. Yeah, you can say Cantina oder Messa again. Usually the school children will say Messa and yeah, the older people they say Cantina. Okay, the letzte. Alex. Geh. Was ist geh? Was geh? Wo geht er? Where is he going? Alex, are you there?
Nach Haus gehen.
Can't hear you, Alex.
Hello, ma'am.
Now I can hear you. Yeah,
Nach Haus gehen.
sehr good. Nach Hause gehen. He's going to the house. Okay. So now it's your work to listen to the audio. Was macht Ben? Hören Sie und nummerieren Sie die Fotos. Bens Tag berichten Sie. So in the audio, they are going to say something, all the pictures in order. What does he do first? What does he do second? What does he do third? That is what they are going to say. Or even it could be Ben himself. This person who you see in the blue t-shirt is Ben. And he can also, like, I don't know who's going to talk. Is it Ben or somebody else is going to tell about his day? We have to just wait and watch. Your work is to write each of these events in order. Is that clear? There are 7 things that he does on a day. You have to number them in sequential order. Uh, And the word berichten is really something like to describe. Yeah, that is what it is. So wait, let me see whether I have shared with audio. No, I didn't. Yeah.
Tag für Tag. Aufgabe 1b.
Liebe Zuhörerinnen und Zuhörer, ich wünsche Ihnen einen wunderschönen guten Morgen. Wir erwarten heute Temperaturen bis zu 28 Grad.
Ups, Vorsicht!
Oh, Entschuldigung.
Macht nichts, kann ja passieren. Ich heiße übrigens Ben.
Ich bin Karina.
Hallo, ich hätte gern einen Milchkaffee. Oh, hallo Karina.
Hallo, Ben. Na, das ist ja eine Überraschung.
Oh ja, komm, setz dich doch.
Kapitel 5 Kapitel 5 Tag für Tag Aufgabe 1b
Liebe Zuhörerinnen und Zuhörer, ich wünsche Ihnen einen wunderschönen guten Morgen. Wir erwarten heute Temperaturen bis zu 28 Grad.
Ups, Vorsicht.
Oh, Entschuldigung.
Macht nichts, kann ja passieren. Ich heiße übrigens Ben.
Ich bin Karina.
Hallo, ich hätte gern einen Milchkaffee. Oh, hallo Karina.
Hallo, Ben. Na, das ist ja eine Überraschung.
Oh ja, komm, setz dich doch.
Kapitel 5
Okay. So what is he doing first? Juhi?
Joggen.
Sehr good. Sid? Is Sid there? Sid, are you there? Okay.
Hello, can
Yeah.
you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
No, I didn't hear it properly. I had some issues. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. No problem. Atul, what's the second thing that he does?
Dushan,
Dushan. Sehr good. And then Sai, what is the next thing after Dushan? What does he do?
You boy,
What?
that
Ahar.
narrate, listen und Frühstück.
Nachrichten lesen und frühstücken. Say that again and see Sai for yourself. Nachrichten lesen,
Nachrichten lesen und Frühstück.
frühstücken. Sehr good.
Frühstücken. Okay.
That is what he does. He has his breakfast and then Alex, what's the next thing that he does?
In the canteen gehen.
Is that in the canteen again? Before that he does, you hear that typing sound, isn't it?
Ja, arbeiten.
arbeiten, and then in den Kantine gehen. Then you have, yeah, they really sometimes he says something fell down and it broke, and so he says ich bin, yeah, das macht es, yeah, passieren means it happens at times. And then you see that he says ich bin übrigens Ben, and see she says ich bin Karina. And then later the part of the day he really sees her in the cafe. He orders for a milch cafe, and then he says, "Oh, das ist eine Überraschung." She says, "It's a surprise. It's surprising that I'm seeing you." And finally, they like he is going home with whistling. What is whistling of German? Do you know? He's whistling a lot. No, he's a whistling guy. So we call it as pfeifen. Pfeifen is to whistle. Er pfeift viel means he is whistling a lot. That is what it is. And then, yeah, that is how it is. So the next, the last one that you're going to like listen for today is he does something on Sundays alone. Yeah. Was macht Ben am Sonntag? Hören Sie das Gespräch und kreuzen Sie an. So you need to first read out all the title. What are all the things? Frühstückt means breakfast, to eat breakfast. Trifft Freunde means he is meeting his friend. Geht ins Café, he goes to the cafe. Schläft lange means like he sleeps longer. Geht spazieren, he goes for a walk. Spielt Fußball, he plays football. Joggt im Park, which means he is jogging in the park. Arbeitet am Computer means he is working in the computer. Liest Zeitung means he is reading newspaper. And the last is Trifft Karina means he is meeting a person called Karina. So now let us listen to this. It's going to work like it is going to take like we are going to listen to that twice as usual, and then we will come back for a discussion.
Aufgabe 2a.
Schneider?
Hey Ben, hier ist Tobi. Sag mal, was machst du am Sonntag? Treffen wir uns? Hast du Zeit?
Also, warte mal. Am Sonntag, da will ich erstmal lange schlafen und dann in Ruhe frühstücken. Dann spiele ich mit ein paar Freunden im Park Fußball. Und um 1 treffe ich Felix und Susanne im Café Centro.
Dann treffen wir uns doch am Nachmittag.
Tja, also am Nachmittag gehe ich spazieren mit Karina. Und danach gehe ich noch mit Karina ins Kino. Hoffentlich.
Aha, ja, schade. Dann vielleicht nächsten Sonntag?
Ja, tut mir echt leid. Wir telefonieren, ja?
Okay, also, dann bis nächste Woche.
Aufgabe 2a.
Schneider?
Hey Ben, hier ist Tobi. Sag mal, was machst du am Sonntag? Treffen wir uns? Hast du Zeit?
Also, warte mal. Am Sonntag, da will ich erstmal lange schlafen und dann in Ruhe frühstücken. Dann spiele ich mit ein paar Freunden im Park Fußball. Und um 1 treffe ich Felix und Susanne im Café Centro.
Dann treffen wir uns doch am Nachmittag.
Tja, also am Nachmittag gehe ich spazieren mit Karina. Und danach gehe ich noch mit Karina ins Kino. Hoffentlich.
Aha, ja, schade. Dann vielleicht nächsten Sonntag?
Ja, tut mir echt leid. Wir telefonieren, ja?
Okay, also, dann bis nächste Woche.
Okay, so what are all the things that he doesn't do? What does he not do? Frühstückt, yeah, he wants to breakfast. Does he meet his friend? Yes,
Live Zeitung.
yeah, genau. Liest Zeitung. He doesn't read newspaper. And what is the other thing that he doesn't do? He goes to the cafe. He wants to sleep longer. He wants to go for a walk with Karina. So thrift Karina is there. Spielt Fußball is there. Anything else?
Arbeit am Computer.
Is they are good. Arbeitet am Computer. These are the two things that he doesn't do. So in your book, when you have marked everything else than these two, then it is right. So just hold on to just see that you have to cross it. Don't put a tick. Instead, you have to put a cross mark in the small box. Then whatever you have done is right. Yeah. So your work for your next week would be write your day, like from Monday to Friday, what are all the things that you do. That brings you to a point where you are going to really learn some other verbs than the verbs that you're seeing right here. Yeah, so you are seeing like frühstücken and Abendessen oder im Restaurant gehen. For instance, there are people or there are families who really go every Saturday or Sunday to the restaurant. Yeah, so that is there. And then you have like a routine of playing football, tennis, anything. So write down all your Tagesaktivitäten, means daily activities, and then we can have a small discussion the next week. And listen, like of course the Uhrzeiten kommt next. The next is this, and I think like it'll be much easier because you have already learned about how to say the time. Next week as well, we will just do a small revision on that. Not next week, the next class, and then we will come back. So this will just be one page, and it will be very easy for you to just go through. And this chapter is a very easy one, is what I always think, because when you know the verbs, what you do for their daily routines, then it becomes much easier. Yeah, is that clear? Any doubts or any questions? I'm just stopping to share. That is all I have for today. So if there are any questions, you can ask me, or we can just say a bye and leave. Any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Choose, ma'am.
Cheers.
Choose, man.
Choose Sid.
Choose, ma'am.
Choose Juhi. Choose Emmy.
Choose,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Choose Sai.
Choose,
Choose
ma'am.
Alex. Bye.